Good morning, and welcome to Renew, a daily devotional for you. My name is Jessica D. Jean, and I'm a member of the College and Career Ministry. This morning, our devotion is entitled, When Sin is Finished, and it comes from James 1:13 through 15, which reads, Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lusts and enticed. Then, when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. A 1982 ABC Evening News special reported an unusual invention, when even more unusual response to it. Someone had attached a chair to a loaded shotgun. People could sit in the chair and look directly down to the gun barrel. The only drawback was that the inventor had set the gun on a timer, and it would fire at a predetermined but unreleased date sometime within the next 100 years. The incredible response to this invention was that people would actually wait in line for their chance to sit in the chair and stare down the loaded gun barrel. Every one of those people knew the risk, but they thought it was worth taking their chance so they could brag on it later. One of the most common and most tragic mistakes of our day is the belief that the results of sin will be different for us. When we fall prey to the lie of Satan that we are somehow exempt from the consequences of sin, he has us right where he wants us. It is rare for someone to sin with a full understanding and appreciation for the awful results that will follow. Instead, we will rationalize and convince ourselves that we will be able to avoid them somehow. God has written the law of sowing and reaping into every fabric of the universe. As Moses warned the children of Israel, be sure your sin will find you out. Numbers 32:23. When we do what we should not or fail to do what we should, we will suffer the consequences just as God declares in Scripture. How much better to instead resist sin at the point of temptation. And today's growth principle is, sin always brings painful and devastating consequences, and none of us are an exception to that rule. So this devotional reminded me specifically of Psalm 1:1, which reads, Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. And in that progression, it talks about us believers being within sin. First, we may try walking in it, then we're standing in the way of sinners, and finally, we're sitting in the seat of the scornful. And in the example in this devotional, people were taking a seat in front of a loaded gun, not knowing when it was going to go off. And once we take that seat, we're putting ourselves at risk of following our flesh and following the temptation and falling into sin. And even though you could watch many people before you do the same sin and may not have a consequence, when it comes to us as believers, we should avoid that completely, flee from sin. And even though we may not see the consequences right in front of us, it may be affecting somebody else around us. So that's what I got from this devotional today. And I just want to remind you guys of the theme verse of Renew, Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. Thank you and have a great day.